Hi, I'm Anna Rossi with Fire Magic, and today we're making porchetta on the amazing Fire Magic rotisserie. Traditionally, porchetta is a deboned pig. That can be a big undertaking for the home cook. So what I've done is break it down a little bit with two of my favorite parts, the pork loin, marinated in Italian herbs overnight, and the pork belly. So to begin, let's prepare the pork belly. Let's start by flipping it over so it's skin side up. I'm going to start by lightly rubbing a little bit of baking soda on the skin. This helps wick a little bit of the extra moisture out of the skin, and now I score the skin. I use a sharp knife. You can also use a razor blade. You want to start to slice through the skin, but not go all the way through the fat layer. Now the skin is scored in diamond cross hatches. Let's flip the belly back over, and now let's season it generously with kosher salt. And now here are the herbs. I combined these to really get the flavors infusing from the very beginning. And now it's time for the loin. I like to lay the skin side up as we bring the belly around to wrap it. This gives a little extra opportunity for the fat to render as it rotates around the rotisserie rod. And now we're going to truss it using a heavy gauge baker's twine. So now the meat has been trussed and tied. It's ready for the rotisserie rod. Let me grab that. So this heavy duty rod can hold up to 75-pound roast. We're gonna line it up as best as we can in the center of the loin and just drive it through. Be careful as you anticipate it on the other side. Oh, that looks great. Now I have these great Fire Magic meat holders that are gonna give us that extra grip on the rotisserie. Make sure all 4 prongs go into the meat and do the same on the other side. This is gonna really set us up for a successful rotisserie, giving us a nice even roast with that high heat back burner. Okay, we're ready to load her. So I'm going to use our pan that we were using for prep work as the drip tray that's going to lay directly on the flavor grids. I've got the meat lined up with the back burner, and I'm going to turn on the rotisserie now to see if everything is even. So this is where you really see the Fire Magic shine. We're working with that 12-inch deep firebox, which gets the airflow around this big piece of rotisserie meat. And the rounded hood of the oven gives you a convection bake. So you get that crispy, crackly skin with the high heat back burner. This is gonna be an awesome meal. Let's close the hood and let this bake at medium-high heat for about 2.5 to 3 hours. So we're about an hour in. Let's take a look. Wow. Already you can see that back burner is doing its work. Look at that. Now, if you were to cook this a different way, it would be much more difficult. Because we're using a rotisserie with that high torque motor, the rendering of the pork fat is basically basting the roast on its own. It's a delicious way to get flavor all around the meat, and you really maximize all the great features that are happening right now on the Fire Magic grill. So the porchetta's been on for about 3 hours. Meanwhile, we fired up some broccoli rabe in the wok on the power burner. This is gonna make an awesome topping in our sub sandwich we're about to put together. Now let's check on the porchetta. Let's fire up the light. These halogen lights come in so handy in this time of the evening. Wow, look at that porchetta. That is awesome. Now carefully with oven mitts, let's remove the rotisserie rod from the grill. Bring it over to the butcher block, and we're gonna let this meat rest for about 15 minutes. Let all those juices saturate back into the meat. Wow, look at the color. Look at that caramelization. The skin has that beautiful crackle. This is gonna be amazing. I find a serrated knife works really well for cutting through this delicious crackly skin. Now to build this sandwich, we're gonna start with a nice basting of extra virgin olive oil and pile on the porchetta high and deep. And now the broccoli rabe stacked on top And finally, the provolone. Now that is a sandwich. Let's slice this up and get it on the table. Well, from my backyard to yours, for this recipe and more, go to firemagicgrills.com. I'm Anna Rossi, and happy grilling.